If you think customer success is all about answering emails and preventing churn, then I can confidently tell you that you are leaving millions of dollars on the table every single year. Customer success teams don't just prevent churn, they grow client bases. And in this video, we're going to be going over what the 1% of top performers do on a daily basis to not only expand the company's revenue, reduce the amount of customers that are leaving, but overall make every customer's experience significantly better. My name is Matt, this is Client Success Media, and this video is just one in a larger series of how you can strategically position your organization and your teams to not only increase revenue for your organization, reduce customer churn, and overall make every experience better for your customers. There's a huge misconception in the industry that customer success agents are just glorified support reps or just renewal reminders. Could not be farther from the truth. At the end of the day, a real CSM and a real CSM team are going to be your revenue generators. They're going to be your growth engines. They're going to help prevent customers leaving. They're going to be the ones that are growing strategically each account, whether it's providing customers better service or better product sets to help them become operationally more efficient, or so that they can do more with less. The way that I like to think about it, support teams solve problems, sales closes deals, and your client success teams ensure the whole thing's working smoothly. Pillar number one, champion customer outcomes and not just product adoption. The best CSMs that I've ever worked at, they're proactive. They're trying to understand what success looks like for each one of their businesses and organizations in their portfolio. What I mean by this, they're jumping on calls and trying to understand at the end of the day with a certain service or a certain solution, what will success look like? Is it that they're going to be more operationally efficient? Are they going to be able to do a lot more with less, meaning they can cut back on resources? Whatever it is, you need to understand what success looks like for each one of your companies. And the best CSMs do that proactively without even trying. At the end of the day, without having a game plan on what success looks like for a customer, you're never going to be able to achieve it, no matter how much work or effort you put in. Customer success agents, at least the good ones, aren't worried about just the day-to-day things. They're worried about the long-term vision with each individual customer. Customers and organizations, they don't just buy software solutions or services. They're buying outcomes. And what your goal is to hire a CSM team or agent that is going to strategically align with those business goals to ensure that in the long term, each customer is getting the most out of the service or product that they're purchasing. And then a great CSM is going to be the one who helps deliver on those outcomes. Pillar number two, detect and prevent churn. Great CSMs know churn has a lot of early warning signs. And the best CSMs are doing everything possible to stay ahead of that. What I mean by staying ahead is they're monitoring usage details. They're going through and monitoring, if it's a telecommunications company, what's the volume of calls that they're taking month to month? So when they see a sharp drop off, they can get ahead of it and reach out to the customers and see why all of a sudden are they seeing a drop in volume. If you're a legal software, maybe you're not seeing as many cases being input into your software. Or if you're an onboarding company, maybe you don't see as many enrollees month to month when you do a comparison. A great CSM is monitoring those types of items to make sure that they're staying on top of any significant drops that could happen. And not only are they monitoring the usage, but they're also monitoring how many meetings are clients missing. Are they missing meetings? A normal CSM probably isn't keeping track of that. A great CSM absolutely is. They want to be able to monitor everything from customer sentiment, how often the customer's meeting, if the customer's always showing up late or not. Those are the items and those are the differentiators between an average CSM and an amazing one. And not only are they monitoring usage, but they're creating health scores and they're creating surveys so that they can monitor those health scores. What I mean by that is NPS surveys or CSATs, customer satisfaction. They're regularly following up with these surveys so that they can get feedback after, let's say, every interaction with the customer or any time a milestone is hit within that success plan so that they know, okay, how's the customer feeling? Are they happy? Are they still a promoter of our product? What's the client sentiment? It just gives you a lot of ammo that you can work with moving forward to hit those next milestones that you have outlined in that success plan and customer journey that you and the customer have agreed upon. The best CSMs are always going to be more so worried about the long-term items than the day-to-day tasks. They're the ones that are creating success plans with the customers so that they know 90 days, 180 days, 365 days, they can pick out what milestones they need to hit with each one of their customers. So that way they have a plan alongside their customer to work towards. If you're just jumping into a customer relationship and you don't have these discussions about business outcomes, what the customer expects from the product, service, or solution, then you're going in blind. By creating a success plan and knowing what success actually looks like for each one of your customers and monitoring it regularly, you're able to stay ahead on anything that could veer you off track. And a great CSM will make sure that they're staying on the pathway that they chose. Because at the end of the day, when you have a plan and you know what success looks like, a great CSM's goal is just to make sure that they get there. Pillar number 3. Retain and grow through trusted partnerships. At the end of the day, a great CSM is the voice of the customer. They are the ones that are communicating cross-departmentally between all the teams. They're sharing feedback from your onboarding to your product, to your engineering, to your marketing teams. A good CSM, they're communicating, they're sharing feedback. A great one is running with that and ensuring that improvements are being made and changes are happening. Great CSMs, they're not asking for renewals. They're doing everything in their power to ensure that those renewals are inevitable. During every meeting, a good CSM is, helping them with their task or whatever request the customer is making. A great CSM is consistently reminding the customer of why they chose the product and what success they've already achieved utilizing that product or service. A great CSM is going to constantly take the customer back to the customer journey and through the success plan that was originally created to ensure that they're still aligned. And if something were to change throughout the period that they're working with that client, then they can make adjustments. A great CSM, he's staying on top of that. He or she is staying on top of that, I should say. A good CSM may never even go back to it. And if you're still wondering, how does this all tie together with your company's growth? Well, a great CSM is going to grow the lifetime value of a customer. A great CSM is going to prevent customer churn. A great CSM is going to drive customer referrals. That's like free marketing for your organization without you having to do anything. A great CSM is going to be a coach. They're going to have their hands in almost every piece of the pie, ensuring that success is inevitable for each one of the clients in their portfolios. As I mentioned, this is just one video in a larger series of how you can strategically help your business grow revenue, reduce customer churn, and overall just make every client interaction significantly better. So my only ask to you, please hit that like button, subscribe, and come back for more. To really bring this all home, a great CSM, they drive outcomes. They create business and success plans with each customer. They understand the nuances of their business and they monitor those nuances. A great CSM is an asset to your business. A terrible one can be a detriment. Hopefully, out of all the items that we talked about today, you can separate yourself and create teams that are not just good CSMs, but great CSMs. And do me a favor, drop a comment. What do you think makes a CSM world class? I read all of them and I usually respond as well. So drop a comment. And if I didn't mention something that you think is really important, feel free to let me know. Once again, my name is Matt. This is Client Success Media. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you for viewing this video and sticking around for this long. And as I mentioned, this is just one in a larger series, so come back for more.